You know, at a certain point, I wonder how a new foundation could be any different than all of the other hundreds of foundations that I've tried. Honestly, a foundation just has to whisper 3 simple words to me: hydrating, illuminating, and smoothing. And so that's what happened, okay? I have a new foundation here. I'm super excited to try it out. It seems like you guys are also really intrigued by this. I've gotten so many requests from you guys wanting to know my thoughts on this guy. It is the brand new Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. Ever since I heard that Makeup Forever was coming out with this particular foundation and I was kind of hearing what it was all about, it really sounded like it was very much up my alley. This is a foundation that's supposed to brighten, smooth, firm, hydrate, even out your skin tone, and it's also supposed to be fairly natural looking. Honestly, say no more. I am going to be doing a comparison, like a side-by-side comparison, using a brush and a beauty blender. That's not right. Using a beauty blender and a brush, and then I'm going to be doing a wear test, of course, because what is a foundation review without a wear test? So you guys will actually see how this wears throughout the day. So pretty excited. I hope you guys are too. Let me know down below in the comments if you have tried this foundation yet, and if you have, please give me your thoughts down below. And if you also want to give your thoughts and review, also leave your skin type. Let's zoom in and get right into it. So if you're just stumbling upon this video and you're not so much familiar with me or my skin type, well, first of all, hi. So my skin type is pretty dry and dehydrated. It's also sensitive. So take that for what you will. All right, so let's first start off with all of the basics. This is the Makeup Forever Reboot Active Care Revitalizing Foundation. It's a mouthful. It is $51 Canadian, which makes me think it's probably around $42 US if my calculations are correct. There are 24 shades in the collection based off of the swatches online. I feel like there could definitely be more deeper shades in this collection. I'm actually surprised because I feel like Makeup Forever normally has a pretty good shade range, especially in their HD formula. Their shade range is really nice. So let's get into the details. So this is a skin revitalizing foundation that adds a radiant satin finish while hydrating, smoothing, and firming the skin for up to 24 hours. That sounds like a dream to me. Sounds so nice. It is suited for normal and dry skin. It is obviously a liquid formula. The finish is satin and the coverage is light. So I actually have 3 shades here, which I'm going to swatch for you guys on my skin, and we'll see which one is the best match. They are all kind of similar to one another, but they do have different undertones. So this first shade, which is the lightest shade that I have here, is Y218. I'm going to swatch it right here. It's definitely too light for me, and I think also a little bit too pink, like I thought. Then the middle shade that I got is Y225, which if I had to guess, I think this is gonna be my shade because it's a little bit more neutral and it's a little bit darker than the last one. It's a little bit yellow, but I feel like I can make it work. And then this last shade is Y315. But you know what? I actually feel like that kind of matches me a little bit better as far as the undertone goes, because I feel like 315 is more neutral. I don't think any of these colors actually match me perfectly. I kind of just guessed when I was choosing my shades. So I think instead what I'm going to do, just to get my perfect shade, is I'm going to mix. So I think I'm going to mix the middle shade with the lightest shade, and I think that should give me something that's at least close. All right, so before I begin, I do want to prep my skin. I have nothing going on right now on my face, and I do like to make sure that when I do foundation reviews that I do my normal routine beforehand so that I know if it goes wrong, it's because of the foundation and not because of what I put underneath it. So I'm first going in with my Laneige Hydrogel just to moisturize. Okay, skin is prepped. Let's start to apply the foundation. I'm gonna start on the left side of my face with the brush, and I'll do the right side of my face with the beauty blender. So for my brush today, I'm gonna be taking my Smith 157. It's this really nice, small, little angled foundation brush, and just start to pat the foundation all over. Well, that really does match me well. So far so good. That was a very thin layer, and I feel like it did give me kind of like a nice wash of coverage all over my face. It did cover up, I would say, like 90% of my redness, but you do still see my blemishes popping through over here completely, like they're not really covered at all. And you do still see a little bit of redness here, but really barely. I actually really like how that looks. It's looking really nice and fresh and just thin on the face. Okay, taking my beauty blender, I'm just gonna pick up the product again from the back of my hand. Ooh, okay, that looks really, really good. The Beauty Blender side is significantly more dewy compared to the brush side. I feel like that's the case a lot of the times when you use a Beauty Blender compared to a brush. It always does apply the foundation with a little bit more moisture, and that's because you are applying it somewhat damp, so it is going to add that little bit of extra glow to the face. I don't really have a preference, but I do feel like the Beauty Blender side looks a little bit more dewy and like hydrated, and it's also a little bit quicker to apply it with the sponge, so I think I'm just gonna do my second layer with the sponge, but really not a huge difference between the two. All right, first impression so far on this one thin layer. I really do like the way this is looking. Like I said, it's looking really fresh. I do also really love the coverage. Like if this was not a review and if I was just putting this on for day to day, I would totally leave it here, just put a little bit of concealer on my blemishes. But because this is a review, I'm gonna put on a second layer, see if it builds up, because I do know that a lot of you guys like a good buildable foundation. So let's see. So this second layer just like kind of changed the game for me. This totally upped the coverage quite a bit. I feel like the color in my blemishes has pretty much disappeared. I mean, you still see the texture of it, but it's no longer red. My face doesn't look red pretty much anywhere. Right now, I'm really enjoying the way this is looking. Like this looks almost like a full coverage to me, but it really doesn't look heavy whatsoever. As far as the way that it feels on my face, as of right now, it doesn't really feel like it's set down. Like it feels kind of sticky. This would be a foundation that I would feel more comfortable setting, because I feel like if I were to go in to hug somebody, there would absolutely be a transfer situation. So because this has been on my face for literally only 3 minutes, I gotta give it a bit of a chance. I'm gonna let it just set on my face for maybe like 5 minutes. I'm just gonna sit here and chill, and then I'll come back on camera and let you know if that's changed. And then once I give you that update, we'll finish off the rest of the face with the makeup and we'll start our wear test. So it's been about 5 minutes. The foundation still feels sticky. It's not like crazy sticky, uncomfortable sticky, but it's sticky. So this is definitely a foundation that I feel like I'm gonna have to set with powder, which is kind of unfortunate because I do feel like powder always does take away the fresh look that a foundation sometimes gives, and that's kind of disappointing to me because I really am loving the way this is looking. I feel like powder is gonna ruin it. I'm gonna just give you guys a little zoom in on what my skin is looking like without anything else on it. All right, gonna go finish off the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. All right, I'm back, makeup's complete. I gotta say, I am really enjoying the way this foundation looks. I'm also really happy because the powder did not ruin the look of the foundation at all. I really applied a very small amount and it was the Hourglass Veil in case you're wondering, but I feel like it actually made it look even better. Like it made the foundation look even smoother, but it didn't add any heaviness to my look, which is what I was concerned about. Here's a nice little zoom close up so you guys can really see. I think what I'm really noticing most about the finish of this foundation is how smooth my skin looks. Like I feel like everything just looks so nice and perfected. So it's time to start the wear test. Right now it's around noon. I will check with you guys periodically to let you know how it's wearing, any changes that I see. I'll also give you a look in natural light. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Okay guys, so here is what the foundation looks like in natural light. I actually think it looks even better in natural light. It's quite pretty. I am back here to do my last and final check-in. I just did one really small check-in in natural light a couple hours ago. There really wasn't much for me to say. I really just wanted to wait to let the foundation kind of take its toll throughout the day. So it has been a total of 8-ish hours. It's around 8 p.m. right now. I started this at 12. I'm gonna take my glasses off. I have been wearing my glasses for a couple hours and I figured, yep, there are some pretty intense glasses marks right there on my nose. That's like very hard to avoid. As soon as you put glasses on a nose, it's gonna create like hot, sweaty mess and it's just gonna completely remove the foundation. So try and ignore that right now. As you may or may not be able to tell, my face is very, very glowy. It almost looks borderline oily. I rarely look oily at the end of the day just because I'm not oily in general. So when a foundation gets very, very glowy and makes me look oily, it's interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So just based off of that, I would 100% say this is not gonna be a foundation that would be suited for people with more of an oilier skin type. Because I can imagine that if you had really oily skin, by the end of the day, it would be really, really oily and shiny. I only have one other real negative that I have to say about this foundation, and that's the way it feels on the face. I think it actually kind of ties back into the fact that this foundation never truly set down. And because of that, I kind of felt the foundation sitting on my face. I find when foundations stay a little bit tacky or sticky, you're more so able to feel them, which can kind of be just an annoying or uncomfortable feeling. Some people mind it, some people don't. I am somebody who definitely does mind it, especially for like a day-to-day foundation for me. I like something that I forget's there. My face does still have like a little bit of tack to it. It's not quite as sticky as when I first applied the foundation, but when I touch my face and I look at my fingers, like I can see the foundation kind of coming off, which is something else that I don't love. One more negative thing that I want to say that I kind of just noticed, it actually does kind of accentuate a little bit of that texture that I have on my cheeks. Like you could see my pores quite a bit, where when I first applied it, I felt like you didn't really see that, but I think as the days have gone on and my natural oils have started to come through, you definitely do see like my pores. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about like this area right over here. I don't know if the camera's gonna be able to pick it up, but I just find my pores are just a little bit accentuated just because it's so glowy right there. The foundation itself still looks really nice and fresh. It hasn't settled actually in any areas of my face either, which I am pretty surprised by. It hasn't even settled on my smile lines, which is a place where most foundations do settle. I'll give you guys a nice little close-up of my skin so you could really see what it looks like. So you can see there's actually no fading anywhere on the face. There's no patches that have come off, like obviously except for around my mouth because I was wearing a red lip and I ended up taking that off. So it's a little bit smudged in that area, so try and disregard that. But everywhere on my cheeks, like all of my powders that I applied on top are still looking nice and strong even after 8 hours. So to really sum all of that up, because I feel like I was kind of all over the place, the pros are that it's very long wearing. It wore really well. It is very natural looking. It looks very fresh on the skin. It doesn't look heavy at all, and it stayed that way throughout the entire day. The coverage is really, really nice. You don't need a lot of product to get a solid like medium to full coverage. And then for cons, I would say for some people, it could be a little bit too glowy, especially by the end of the day. It feels just a little bit heavy on the skin. And then thirdly, the texture. The texture is a little bit accentuated because of the glowiness. All right, guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this review on the new Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation. Don't forget to let me know down below in the comments if you have tried this, and if you have, what are your thoughts? Hit the thumbs up button, and of course, subscribe if you want to join the fam, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.